We are the future of women. And as I watch my daughter, I can't help but envision him stepping into her life like a beautiful dream. She was 40, navigating the path to healing after a difficult divorce, while he was only 25, youthful, charismatic, and seemingly ready to offer her the world. At first, their love story became one of Hollywood's most talked-about romances, admired and wished for by many. But in the end, what began as a fairy tale romance turned into one of the darkest chapters of Demi Moore's life. At 62, after years of silence, she made the courageous choice to unveil the truth, opening up about the heartbreaking miscarriage they had kept hidden, the 3 regrets that have weighed on her heart, and her personal battle with addiction that nearly took everything from her. This is the untold story of what really happened between Demi and Ashton, details that few have ever heard. If you find this story compelling, drop a comment with the number 1. If not, comment 0. Don't forget to hit like, share the video, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe so you won't miss out on more fascinating videos. Now let's dive into the story. Demi Moore was born on November 11, 1962, in Roswell, New Mexico, into a life filled with hardship and struggle from the very beginning. Her father walked out before she was even born, leaving her mother to raise her alone while battling the challenges of daily life. Demi's childhood was marked by relentless upheaval and trauma. She grew up in a chaotic environment where both her mother and stepfather struggled with severe alcoholism, forcing the family to move more than 30 times. As a result, Demi never had a stable, safe place to call home. At just 15 years old, Demi Moore endured a traumatic psychological shock that she later recounted in her memoir. She revealed that her mother had allowed an older man to harm her in exchange for just $500, a devastating betrayal that left deep emotional wounds. The pain of that moment stayed with her for years, leaving scars that never fully faded from the heart of a young girl longing for safety and trust. At just 12 years old, Demi Moore witnessed a terrifying moment that would mark her forever, her mother attempting suicide. In a desperate and horrifying scene, she used her small hands to pull pills from her mother's mouth while her stepfather tried to hold her back. That moment forced Demi to grow up far faster than any child should have to. Her school years were no easier. She struggled with dyslexia and a serious eye condition that required multiple surgeries, making her childhood a constant battle for both survival and understanding. By the age of 16, Demi made the bold decision to drop out of school and live independently. She took on a variety of jobs ranging from modeling to debt collection just to support herself. At 17, she married rock musician Freddie Moore, hoping to build a new life and escape the pain of her past. Though the marriage lasted only 4 years, it marked a turning point in her journey towards self-reinvention and a future in the spotlight. Despite facing countless hardships, Demi never gave up on her dreams. At just 19 years old, she landed her breakthrough role as journalist Jackie Templeton on the popular daytime soap opera General Hospital. Out of more than 1,000 actresses who auditioned, Demi stood out for her assertiveness and emotional strength, qualities rarely seen in female characters on TV at the time. Although she earned only $750 per episode, the role became a pivotal stepping stone, opening the door to much greater opportunities in her budding career. Alongside her rising career, Demi was fighting a private battle with addiction and a relentless cycle of late-night partying. Director Joel Schumacher saw something special in her raw talent and undeniable charisma and made it his mission to help her overcome that dark period. He arranged for someone to stay by her side throughout the filming process, ensuring she stayed sober and focused. That support became a lifeline, helping Demi gradually turn her life around and take meaningful steps toward a brighter, more stable future. In 1985, Demi continued to make her mark by landing a leading role in the film St. Elmo's Fire, a coming-of-age drama about a close-knit group of friends navigating the challenges of adulthood. She portrayed Jules, a party-loving young woman harboring deep emotional wounds and personal struggles, a character that in many ways mirrored Demi's own life at the time. The film was a major success and catapulted her into the spotlight, solidifying her status as one of Hollywood's most promising young stars and marking a pivotal turning point in her career. However, behind the dazzling spotlight of her career, Demi continued to battle personal demons. Her relationship with Ashton Kutcher, once a fairy tale romance, was plagued by emotional turbulence. The miscarriage they kept private for years sent Demi into a deep psychological spiral. She also struggled with the weight of past mistakes, ones that still haunt her. The three things she regrets most in life all stem from choices that deeply impacted her own happiness and well-being. Most devastating of all was her battle with addiction, a fight that nearly stripped away everything she had worked so hard to build. Today, Demi Moore has emerged from those darkest chapters of her life, slowly rediscovering peace and healing within herself. Her story stands not only as a powerful reminder of resilience and courage, but also as a testament to the strength it takes to overcome adversity. Through it all, she has transformed into a fiercely strong woman, one whose journey continues to inspire countless others around the world. But landing the role in St. Elmo's Fire didn't come easy. Demi Moore had to overcome a major personal challenge. Director Joel Schumacher gave her a strict ultimatum. She had to stay completely sober and prove she could maintain control, or she would lose the coveted role. Faced with that intense pressure, Demi realized she had no choice but to confront and fight the addiction that had haunted her for years. It was a grueling and deeply personal battle, but through sheer determination and the unwavering support of those around her, Demi managed to overcome it. The studio even funded a sobriety companion who stayed by her side throughout the entire filming process, ensuring she stayed clean and focused. That timely and practical support became a crucial foundation for her recovery, allowing Demi to deliver a standout performance and solidify her place among Hollywood's most respected actresses. St. Elmo's Fire wasn't just a film. It was a turning point that launched Demi Moore into the iconic Brat Pack, a group of young stars who defined 1980s Hollywood. While the term Brat Pack originally carried a negative tone suggesting immaturity and rebellious behavior, it became a golden ticket to fame and massive public attention. Demi's standout performance in the film showcased her talent and unique appeal, proving she belonged among Hollywood's elite. Building on that momentum, she quickly landed major roles in hit films like About Last Night, and most notably Ghost, the blockbuster that catapulted her to global stardom. Over the years, the Brat Pack has remained a legendary part of Hollywood history. In 2024, a documentary titled Brats was released featuring Demi and her fellow cast members as they look back on those vibrant, passionate, and often challenging days. The story of the Brat Pack continues to fascinate both audiences and critics, with ongoing conversations about the possibility of a sequel to St. Elmo's Fire, one that could bring the original cast back together, including Demi herself. The biggest turning point in Demi Moore's career came with the 1990 film Ghost. This iconic masterpiece left a lasting impression on audiences around the world. Made on a modest budget of just $22 to $23 million, Ghost went on to gross $55.7 million, becoming the highest-grossing film of that year and one of the most successful movies of all time at that point. Its success didn't stop at the box office. Ghost also became the most rented video in the U.S. in 1991, cementing its place as a cultural phenomenon. Ghost Demi played Molly Jensen, a gentle and deeply emotional woman swept up in a timeless love story with Patrick Swayze. Her performance resonated with millions thanks to its authenticity, sensitivity, and emotional depth. The iconic pottery wheel scene, set to the haunting melody of Unchained Melody, became a lasting cultural symbol referenced and recreated countless times throughout cinematic history. Beyond the emotional impact, Demi's short haircut in the film also sparked a global beauty trend, with women around the world emulating her bold and elegant style. Alongside the massive success of Ghost, Demi Moore's personal life was filled with equally compelling stories. At the height of her fame, her then-husband Bruce Willis was also dominating the box office, with the action hit Die Hard 2 making them one of Hollywood's most beloved power couples. Remarkably, their two films topped the box office simultaneously, a rare feat in Hollywood history that wouldn't be matched by another couple for the next 34 years. The success of Ghost was further cemented by numerous prestigious nominations, including a Golden Globe and a Saturn Award for Best Actress. These accolades reflected both critical acclaim and deep audience appreciation for Demi Moore's talent and relentless dedication. The film was more than just a love story. It skillfully blended humor, romance, and the supernatural, delivering a fresh and deeply human experience that captivated hearts around the world. In the years that followed, Demi Moore continued to maintain her status and fame through a series of standout roles while also becoming a fashion and cultural icon of the 1990s. Her journey from hardship and personal battles to remarkable success served as a powerful source of inspiration for people around the world. She became a living testament to the strength of willpower and perseverance, showing that resilience can turn even the darkest chapters into a legacy of triumph. For Hollywood, the phenomenal success of Ghost wasn't just a milestone in Demi Moore's career. It was proof that films built on unique, unconventional ideas could still become global sensations. It was a vivid reminder that the film market continues to welcome creativity and fresh storytelling rather than relying solely on formulaic approaches. The impact of Ghost inspired filmmakers to take bolder risks in the years that followed, ushering in a new era of innovation in the entertainment industry. Demi Moore continued to evolve and assert her talent through a series of powerhouse performances. In 1992, she starred in the iconic film A Few Good Men, directed by Rob Reiner and featuring an all-star cast including Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson. The film grossed over $243 million worldwide and cast Demi as Lieutenant Commander Joanne Galloway, a strong, authoritative, and fearless female figure in a male-dominated military environment. Her performance proved that she could carry weighty, complex roles and helped reshape the perception of female characters in high-caliber Hollywood films. In 1993, Demi Moore once again challenged herself with the film Indecent Proposal, a provocative drama that stirred major controversy while becoming a box office hit, earning nearly $267 million on a $38 million budget. The film posed a daring moral question: would a married woman agree to spend one night with a stranger for $1 million? Demi played Diana Murphy, a woman forced into an emotionally complex and ethically charged situation. Her performance ignited widespread debate about morality, women's autonomy, and the boundaries of human relationships, further proving her willingness to take on bold and thought-provoking roles. However, the role also brought Demi significant backlash from feminist groups who argued that the film portrayed women as commodities to be traded. Demi later admitted that this was one of the most challenging periods of her career. Still, she continued to take on bold and provocative roles, seeing them as a way to challenge and break the societal norms imposed on women. Demi's career took even bolder turns in the mid-1990s with two highly controversial films. In 1996, she starred in Striptease, playing the role of an exotic dancer. The film drew massive attention not only for its daring subject matter, but also for Demi's provocative nude scenes. She was paid $12. $5 million for the role, making her the highest-paid actress in Hollywood at the time. Just a year later, in 1997, she surprised audiences once again by taking the lead in G.I. Jane, a film that followed the grueling journey of the first woman to undergo Navy SEAL training. Demi shaved her head on camera and performed many of the stunts herself with raw authenticity. She trained rigorously to build muscle and shed fat, bringing her body fat percentage down to just 10%. These two roles highlighted the remarkable range and versatility of her talent. One showcased feminine allure and sensuality, while the other embodied strength, determination, and a traditionally masculine toughness. Together, they sparked widespread debate about gender roles in the film industry. Demi herself once candidly stated playing a stripper made a lot of women angry, and playing a soldier made a lot of men uncomfortable. This remark underscored her willingness to confront societal judgment and break through rigid stereotypes. While these films sparked intense controversy and public scrutiny, they also elevated her star power and cemented her place in Hollywood. However, behind the spotlight came immense pressure and harsh criticism, leading her into one of the darkest periods of her life. In her 2019 memoir, Demi revealed that this was also the time she struggled deeply with substance abuse and body image issues. Alongside her tumultuous career, Demi's personal life was also marked by significant upheaval. She married musician Freddie Moore at just 17 years old, a major turning point that brought both intense challenges and transformative opportunities on her journey to adulthood. Though the marriage didn't last, the experience taught her resilience and helped her develop the strength to face a life filled with constant change and uncertainty. Demi Moore is not just a cinematic icon, she has become a symbol of perseverance, courage, and female strength in the often unforgiving world of entertainment. Her life story, from a turbulent childhood to her personal battles and hard-won triumphs, continues to inspire generations of audiences and those seeking light in the darkest chapters of their own lives. This happened on February 8, 1980, when Demi Moore got married for the first time. The marriage wasn't born out of love, it was more of an escape from the pain of losing her stepfather. Years later, in her memoir Inside Out, she admitted that on the night before her wedding, instead of feeling joy or excitement, she spent hours on the phone with another man she had met on a film set. Even before the marriage began, the signs of trouble were already there. Demi took her husband Freddie's last name and made it her stage name for the rest of her career. During their marriage, they collaborated on a few songs, including It's Not a Rumor, which became a minor hit. But the relationship itself was fraught with challenges. Demi was still very young, struggling to discover who she was while being pulled into a complex adult dynamic. She later admitted that she was the one who sabotaged the marriage, though deep down she knew that wasn't entirely true. The marriage ended in 1985, leaving a lasting impact on how she viewed love, trust, and herself. However, the love story between Demi and Bruce Willis began like something out of a movie. They first met in 1987 at a film premiere while Demi was still engaged to actor Emilio Estevez. The spark between Demi and Bruce was undeniable. Just 4 months later, they were in Las Vegas together watching a boxing match where Bruce proposed to her. They got married right then and there on November 21, 1987. Though it was a spontaneous decision, their marriage would go on to last for years and be considered one of Hollywood's most successful at the time. Bruce and Demi quickly became one of Hollywood's most iconic couples. Bruce was a rising star with Die Hard, while Demi was among the highest-paid actresses of her time. Together they had 3 daughters, Rumor born in 1988, Scout in 1991, and Tallulah in 1994. However, their demanding careers often kept them apart. Bruce hoped Demi would slow down and spend more time with the family, but she was determined to keep pushing forward, shattering records with a $12.5 million paycheck for striptease and showing no signs of slowing down. Despite facing many challenges, Bruce and Demi made a genuine effort to maintain a close bond over the years, even co-starring in the film Mortal Thoughts. But in 1998, after 11 years of marriage, they decided to separate. Unlike many Hollywood breakups, their divorce was surprisingly smooth. They remained friends, co-parented their daughters with mutual respect, and frequently appeared together at important events. Their blended, supportive family became a shining example of how divorced couples can still prioritize love, respect, and unity for the sake of their children. Demi's greatest challenge during this time was finding a balance between her soaring career and her role as a mother. In 1988, rumors swirled that she had no intention of slowing down, and by 1991, she ignited global conversation by appearing nude and pregnant on the cover of Vanity Fair while expecting her second daughter, Scout. The image quickly became iconic, symbolizing the message that motherhood should not mean shame or the need to hide one's body. Demi worked tirelessly to align her career with her family life, even going so far as to set up a nursery on the set of G.I. Jane for her youngest daughter. Yet despite all her efforts, she often battled guilt for not being able to spend as much time with her children as she wished. After parting ways with Bruce, Demi made a bold decision. She left Hollywood and relocated to Idaho. Her goal was to give her daughters a normal life far from the spotlight, even if it meant stepping away from a thriving career. This move clearly showed that above all else, she prioritized being a mother. If you found this story compelling and want to learn more, don't forget to share the video and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe so you won't miss out on our upcoming videos. Now let's continue the story together. In 2003, Demi Moore met Ashton Kutcher at the New York premiere of Charlie's Angels Full Throttle. At the time, Demi was 40 and Ashton was just 25. Despite the 15-year age gap, the two felt an instant connection. Demi was drawn to Ashton's charm and sense of humor. Just one day after meeting, they shared an 8-hour phone call diving into conversations about dreams, life philosophies, and their outlook on the world. That deep and meaningful exchange laid the foundation for a romance that blossomed almost immediately. Just 3 weeks after their first meeting, Ashton boldly and unexpectedly met Demi's daughters and even her ex-husband, Bruce Willis. Less than 2 months into dating, Ashton proposed to Demi during a romantic midnight picnic on the beach in Santa Barbara. He came prepared with a 5-carat Asher-cut diamond ring worth $250,000, surrounded by rose petals, and asked with a heartfelt proposal, "Will you marry me?" By the 4th month of their relationship, Demi and Ashton decided to move in together. They weren't just a couple, they became business partners too, launching a production company called Catalyst Films. Their first project, the reality show Beauty and the Geek, quickly became a hit, solidifying their status as one of Hollywood's most powerful and creative couples at the time. However, not long after, their relationship faced a heartbreaking challenge when Demi suffered a miscarriage 6 months into her pregnancy. The loss deeply affected both of them. Despite their grief, they stood strong together, attending counseling sessions 3 times a week for several months. Ashton later revealed that this tragedy made him realize he was truly ready to become a father, and it ultimately strengthened their bond during one of the most difficult periods of their lives. The media couldn't get enough of their story, especially fascinated by their 15-year age gap. When they made their first public appearance together at the Charlie's Angels premiere, they instantly became the center of attention. Over 200 photographers swarmed the event, with some outlets reportedly offering up to $100,000 for exclusive shots of the couple sharing a late-night kiss. Their relationship quickly became a hot topic on comedy shows and talk shows, with the term cougar being thrown around frequently. Demi was often jokingly dubbed mainstream media's poster child. Despite the intense spotlight, both Demi and Ashton handled the attention with humor and confidence. In 2005, Demi even appeared in a sketch on Saturday Night Live wearing old-age makeup to poke fun at the media's obsession with their age difference, turning public scrutiny into a bold, self-aware statement. In September 2005, Demi and Ashton held an intimate wedding at their Beverly Hills home with around 100 guests, including Bruce Willis. Demi wore a stunning Lanvin gown while Ashton donned a cream Brooks Brothers suit. The ceremony took place under a Kabbalah chuppah, symbolizing their deep spiritual beliefs. One of the most touching moments came when Demi's daughters, Scout and Tallulah, read heartfelt letters to Ashton. In return, he gifted each of them a Cartier love bracelet, symbolizing his commitment to their family. It's said that Bruce Willis was moved to tears during the ceremony. Their harmonious family life allowed them to enjoy peaceful moments together. They purchased a home in Idaho where they hosted themed holidays and cozy gatherings. Ashton, Demi, and Bruce spent a great deal of time together, co-parenting the children smoothly and even vacationing as one big extended family. Bruce Willis once praised Ashton, calling him one of the few men his daughters genuinely adored. Ashton's role as a stepfather was deeply meaningful. At just 27 years old, he took on the responsibility of helping raise Demi's 3 daughters, then aged 17, 14, and 11. He became actively involved in their lives, attending school events, cheering them on at performances, and even learning how to do French braids. Ashton admitted to taking parenting classes to better understand his role, once saying that love isn't something that gets divided, it grows. He encouraged the girls to pursue their own interests, helping Scout set up her first Twitter account and supporting the production of The Whole 10 Yards. Scout once credited Ashton for inspiring her love of technology, which helped lead her into the field of computer science. However, things weren't always smooth. The youngest daughter, Tallulah, initially struggled to accept Ashton as a stepfather. She once wrote that his presence made her feel judged and unsure of how to welcome him into their lives. There were even rumors that she had developed a crush on Ashton before he began dating her mother, further complicating the family dynamic. Despite this, Ashton maintained a close bond with Demi's daughters even after the couple separated. He publicly supported Demi during her Dancing with the Stars appearances and celebrated her pregnancy announcement. In 2020, Ashton stated that he would always love and support the family they had built together. Demi and Ashton were overjoyed when they learned she was pregnant again. At the time, Demi was 41 years old and 6 months along. However, on September 23, 2003, during a routine checkup, their joy turned into unimaginable heartbreak. They discovered that their baby girl, whom they had named Rumor Ray, no longer had a heartbeat. This devastating loss became another major test of their love and resilience, marking a profoundly painful yet meaningful chapter in their life together. That loss completely devastated Demi Moore. After nearly 20 years of sobriety and resilience through countless challenges, the miscarriage shattered her emotional foundation. She blamed herself harshly, believing that the occasional drinking and smoking during the early stages of pregnancy had directly caused the tragedy. This overwhelming guilt and regret consumed her, sending her into a deep emotional spiral. Struggling with intense depression, Demi turned to alcohol and painkillers like Vicodin in a desperate attempt to numb both physical and emotional pain. Her weight dropped to a dangerously low 98 pounds, around 44 kg, a stark reflection of her severe physical and mental decline. During this time, the couple tried everything to have another child, ranging from traditional therapies to advanced methods like in vitro fertilization. But each attempt ended in heartbreak, deepening Demi's sense of disappointment and helplessness. She later described this period as an emotional abyss filled with loneliness and confusion, a place where she felt completely lost and empty. It wasn't just the pain of losing a child that haunted her. It was the struggle to process that grief, to understand how to move forward, and to find any sense of healing. These emotional burdens gradually strained their marriage, creating growing distance and tension between them. According to Demi's memoir, Ashton Kutcher did his best to support her, but he couldn't fully grasp the deep emotional pain she was going through. This lack of empathy created an increasing emotional distance between them, making their already fragile relationship even more vulnerable to breaking apart. Even so, they still tried to hold on to the relationship in a desperate effort. During this time, Demi and Ashton tried unconventional methods to save their marriage. In her memoir, Demi revealed that they once engaged in threesomes at Ashton's suggestion, hoping it would keep the spark alive. Although she agreed, Demi felt awkward and disconnected, unsure of her place in the relationship. This only deepened her confusion and doubts about their future together. They also sought spiritual guidance, visiting the Kabbalah Center in Los Angeles, and even traveling to Israel in search of inner peace. Despite all their efforts, the pressure to have a child and the emotional wounds they carried never eased. In fact, they only made the situation worse. Things became even more complicated on their 6th wedding anniversary, September 24, 2011, when rumors surfaced that Ashton Kutcher had cheated. He was accused of spending the night with a 22-year-old woman named Sarah Leal. Demi had actually met Leal before at a bowling party where Leal boldly gave Ashton her phone number right in front of Demi and her daughters. The news came as a crushing blow to Demi. She found out through an alert on her phone while getting ready for a red carpet event, and when she confronted Ashton, he admitted to it. Demi recalled being so shocked by the truth that she could hardly breathe. The pain was only made worse when she later discovered that Ashton had previously cheated on her with another woman, 21-year-old Brittany Jones. Kutcher later tried to justify his actions by claiming that their threesomes had blurred the boundaries of their relationship, but this explanation only deepened Demi's hurt and sense of betrayal. The heartbreak, the betrayal, and the overwhelming sense of loss left deep emotional scars. It took a serious toll on her mental health and drove an even greater wedge between them. Ashton Kutcher's affair quickly became public knowledge, making everything much more difficult not just for him and Demi, but also for those close to them. Just days after the scandal broke, the two still had to appear together at an event for an anti-human trafficking foundation. Demi was forced to stand beside Ashton as he gave his speech, all while knowing deep inside that what he had done was deeply shameful. The emotional weight of that moment was almost unbearable for her. On November 17, 2011, Demi announced their separation. She described it as a painful but necessary decision, emphasizing that she had to stay true to her own values. The divorce process dragged on for nearly 2 years. Ashton officially filed in December 2012, and their split was finalized in November 2013. Many close to them remarked that the marriage ended like a nightmare, leaving deep wounds on Demi's self-esteem. In a 2023 interview, Kutcher admitted that the divorce made him feel like a failure. Both of them struggled to heal, especially as their pain was so intensely exposed to the public eye. After the divorce, Demi Moore's life began to unravel. She had maintained sobriety for nearly 20 years, but everything changed. Her addiction resurfaced, and this time it was worse. On January 23, 2012, Demi suffered a seizure at a party at her home in Benedict Canyon. She had used synthetic marijuana and inhaled nitrous oxide. When police arrived, they found her semi-conscious and shaking uncontrollably. It was a terrifying moment that marked the beginning of a long and dark period in her life. Over the next 3 years, her struggles with addiction only deepened. Demi began taking up to 12 Vicodin pills a day, often mixing them with Red Bull and vodka. She became obsessed with her body image, spending hours in front of the mirror trying to convince herself she needed to be even thinner. Her health deteriorated drastically, with her weight dropping to just 102 pounds, around 46 kilograms. The combination of stress, exhaustion, and poor nutrition led to frequent seizures, leaving her barely able to cope with the toll it was taking on her body and mind. Demi became deeply isolated, distancing herself from family and friends and spending most of her time alone. She missed her daughter's 30th birthday and several other important family milestones. Eventually, in September 2012, Demi made the decision to seek treatment at an upscale rehab facility in Utah called Cirque Lodge. The cost was a staggering $150,000 per month, but it was a necessary step toward her recovery. Her addiction didn't just harm her, it also deeply affected her relationship with her 3 daughters, Rumor Scout and Tallulah. The emotional distance created during that time left lasting wounds within the family. The relationship between Demi and her daughters became so strained that for years they barely spoke. Tallulah, who was only 25 at the time, described that period as terrifying. She felt like her mother had become someone else, almost like a monster. Whenever Demi acted oddly, speaking slowly, or becoming overly emotional, Tallulah would grow anxious. She also struggled with her own issues, including eating disorders and body image problems, largely triggered by the stress of her mother's condition. Heartbroken and angry, Tallulah felt as though her mother's addiction had stolen a vital part of her life. At one point, she even had to call 911 to save her mother's life. Scout, who was 28 at the time, felt abandoned and believed her mother no longer loved her. By 2012, the 3 sisters had completely stopped speaking to Demi. They didn't even attend her 50th birthday celebration, and Demi missed several major milestones in their lives. Rumors even suggested she skipped out on important moments, like her daughter's appearances on Dancing with the Stars in 2015. For years, the relationship between Demi and her daughters remained tense and distant. But over time, things slowly began to shift. The emotional walls started to come down, opening a path toward healing and the chance to rebuild their family bond. On November 12, 2015, Tallulah Demi Moore's youngest daughter reached a major turning point in her life after completing rehab following years of battling substance abuse and an eating disorder. In a courageous move, she decided to reach out to her mother, marking the first time the two had seen each other in nearly 3 years. Overwhelmed with emotion, Demi didn't hesitate. She flew straight to New York to begin the long journey of repairing a relationship that had once seemed irreparably broken. Rebuilding the mother-daughter bond was far from easy. In a 2019 episode of Red Table Talk, the entire family bravely opened up about the pain and challenges they had endured. Tallulah admitted she had felt abandoned and even experienced panic at the thought of seeing her mother again after years of separation. Scout, the middle daughter, also confessed to harboring deep anger and resentment toward Demi. Faced with these heartfelt confessions, Demi took full responsibility. She acknowledged that her battle with addiction had deeply wounded her children and fractured their family. Determined to make amends, she committed to therapy and attended family counseling sessions for 18 months, doing everything she could to heal the broken ties. A major turning point in their journey toward healing came in 2017 when the family spent a week together at a retreat center in Arizona. There, they practiced meditation and engaged in deep emotional healing exercises. These shared experiences served as a powerful catalyst, soothing old wounds and drawing them closer together. From that point on, the mother-daughter relationship improved significantly. They began taking vacations together, showed support for one another on social media, and even collaborated on creative projects, reconnecting not just as individuals, but as a united and loving family. Demi's 60th birthday in 2022 marked another touching milestone in her family's healing journey. Her 3 daughters surprised her with a deeply meaningful gift. They each got the word "Mom" tattooed in Demi's handwriting, a powerful symbol of their unbreakable bond and renewed closeness. Beyond her daughters, Demi also maintained a strong and loving relationship with her first husband, Bruce Willis, despite their divorce in 2000. Their story stands as a clear reminder that divorce doesn't have to mean the end of a family. It can be the beginning of a different but still deeply connected kind of love. When Bruce's family announced in 2022 that he was battling aphasia, Demi was among the first to share the news publicly and express her strong support. Since then, she has spent considerable time with Bruce and his current wife, Emma Hemming Willis, showing unwavering solidarity during his health journey. In 2023, Demi attended Bruce's 68th birthday celebration, joining the family for an intimate and heartwarming gathering. She even posted a sweet video capturing the moment everyone sang happy birthday, a touching reminder of the deep and lasting bond they continue to share as a blended family. In 2019, Demi made a playful appearance at a Comedy Central roast honoring Bruce, where she didn't shy away from poking fun at their past. "I was married to Bruce during the first 3 Die Hard movies, which makes sense because the last 2 really weren't very good," she joked. Her witty remark was more than just humor. It reflected the maturity and harmony they've found in their relationship. Through it all, they've managed to laugh about the past while continuing to support each other's lives and new relationships with genuine respect and affection. The relationships between Demi and her daughters and with Bruce are more than just personal stories. They stand as powerful testaments to the strength of love, resilience, and the ability to heal even after the deepest wounds. Together, they have faced hardship, rebuilt from broken pieces, and chosen to walk through life with renewed understanding and lasting connection. Their journey shows that even when relationships are tested to their limits with patience and heart, it's possible to rediscover trust, rebuild bonds, and create something even stronger than before. Demi Moore attended Bruce Willis's wedding to Emma Hemming in 2009, a gesture that spoke volumes about the mutual respect and continued bond between them as former spouses. In return, Bruce didn't hesitate to show his support by attending Demi's private wedding to Ashton Kutcher back in 2005. Although their marriage had long ended, Demi and Bruce maintained a strong connection and deep friendship, proving that meaningful relationships can endure and evolve even after divorce. What's especially meaningful is how their daughters deeply appreciate the way their parents have always treated each other with love and respect even after their divorce. Many have praised Demi and Bruce for their grace and unity, seeing their relationship as a shining example of what true love and family values can look like even in the face of change. For Demi, now 62, it's a source of pride and joy to serve as a role model for the next generation, showing that compassion, mutual respect, and lasting connection are what truly define a family. On her 62nd birthday in 2024, Demi Moore sat down for a heartfelt conversation with Vogue, sharing her evolved and mature perspective on love and happiness. She revealed that the most important relationship in her life is the one she has with herself. "I don't need someone else to complete me," she said. "I already feel whole and content on my own." This viewpoint reflects the freedom and self-assurance she's gained through years of life experience and overcoming adversity. It's a powerful testament to the independence and inner peace she has cultivated over time. Demi even coined a new term for her current lifestyle: solo partnership. which refers to focusing on personal growth and finding individual happiness first without the pressure of having a romantic partner. However, she doesn't rule out the possibility of falling in love when it happens, as long as that person adds meaning and fulfillment to her life. Shortly after the interview, the term #solo partnership quickly became a trending topic on social media, resonating with many people, especially those seeking balance in modern life. Demi's approach to dating has also noticeably shifted over the past year. She's only gone on a few dates, each one carefully chosen and meaningful. One of the most memorable was with an astrophysicist she met at an astronomy lecture. They went stargazing together in the Mojave Desert, and experienced that, while not romantic in the traditional sense, was deeply emotional and meaningful, leaving a lasting impression on Demi. Demi has also formed a special and close bond with Emma Hemming Willis, Bruce Willis's wife. Together, they started a book club meeting every 2 weeks to read, discuss books, and share personal stories and life experiences. This friendship is not only a testament to Demi's growth and capacity for forgiveness, but also highlights her deep appreciation for and commitment to nurturing the important relationships in her life. Fans and the public deeply admire the way Demi has grown through her challenges, embraced forgiveness, and moved forward with a sense of inner peace. She's not closed off to love, but she now has a clear understanding of what she needs and wants. If someone were to come into her life, it would have to be someone who brings true meaning, someone who adds to her sense of wholeness and fulfillment, not someone she relies on or depends upon. And of course, it's impossible not to mention Puff, Demi's beloved dog, and a true Instagram star with over 2 million followers. Puff has become an adorable companion and a source of daily positivity for her, bringing joy and comfort through life's ups and downs. His presence adds a sense of connection and simple happiness to Demi's life, an important part of her current journey toward fulfillment and balance. All of this paints a portrait of Demi Moore as a woman who is both strong and gentle, independent, yet deeply compassionate. She embodies the image of a modern woman constantly evolving, living authentically, and nurturing meaningful, lasting relationships. Demi is a powerful example of someone who continues to grow, stay true to herself, and build a life filled with purpose and connection. If you found this story inspiring, don't forget to like and share the video with your friends and loved ones. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to leave a comment below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you won't miss any of our future videos. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one. Hi everyone, she's 18 now and no longer playing by the good girl script. Shiloh Jolie Pitt, the daughter of Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, has just dropped a bombshell that's sending shockwaves through Hollywood. After years of swirling rumors, legal battles, and sealed documents, Shiloh is finally speaking out about the notorious 2016 plane incident. What she's revealing is completely rewriting the narrative, and Brad's name is now at the heart of the controversy. This bold move is changing everything we thought we knew about the family's story. The divorce between Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie has just gotten more complicated than ever. Nearly a decade has passed, yet the couple who first met as co-stars in Mr. and Mrs. Smith still make headlines for all the wrong reasons. The latest development centers around none other than their daughter Shiloh Jolie Pitt. From now on, we'll have to call her Shiloh Jolie, as the 18-year-old has made it clear she's had enough of her father. Shiloh, daughter of two of Hollywood's biggest stars, is now at the center of a legal storm marking her independence with a move that's shaking the entertainment world. On her 18th birthday, the day most teenage girls celebrate their coming of age, Shiloh made a bold statement without saying a word. The entertainment industry woke up to the news that Shiloh had hired her own lawyer to help legally change her name. By petitioning to drop the Pitt from her name, she made it clear she wants to be known simply as Shiloh Jolie. This act isn't just a simple legal formality, it speaks volumes of a fractured relationship and a desire to redefine herself. So how did Brad Pitt react? Just 1 week after Shiloh, his 18-year-old daughter with Angelina Jolie filed to drop his last name, a family insider told the press Brad is aware and saddened by this decision. He has never felt greater joy than the day Shiloh was born. He always dreamed of having a daughter. Now, being reminded that he's lost his children is painful. It's not easy for Brad. He loves his kids deeply and misses them dearly. Although reportedly happy in his current relationship with Inez de Ramon, the growing distance from his children still hurts him. But why did Shiloh make such a bold move? Is there something darker going on behind the scenes? Drop a 1 in the comments if you want to know more about how this story unfolds. In 2020, while the world was engulfed by a pandemic, another storm was brewing within Hollywood's most fractured family. Brad Pitt may have won an Oscar that year, but he also walked straight into a tempest stirred by his own son. On Father's Day 2020, Maddox Jolie Pitt Brad and Angelina's eldest son shocked social media with a post that felt less like a tribute and more like a declaration of war. He shared a photo of Brad holding his Oscar for Best Supporting Actor captioned "Ruthless, Relentless, Personal." Happy Father's Day to this world-class human being. Time and time again, you prove yourself to be a terrible, despicable person. You show no care, no empathy for your 4 young children who tremble in fear when you're near. You've made the lives of those closest to you a living hell. You may deceive yourself and the world, but the truth will come out someday. So happy Father's Day to this awful, damnable human being. The post ignited social media like wildfire. Harsh indeed. But for those closely following the Jolie-Pitt divorce, it was the eruption of a long, smoldering volcano. At the heart of the rift lies the infamous 2016 private plane incident, the moment many believe marked the true beginning of Brad's downfall as a father. On a flight that stopped at International Falls Airport in Minnesota, Brad and Maddox, then 15 years old, reportedly had a tense and emotional confrontation. Although security footage from the airport exists, it has never been made public. A source who claimed to have seen the video said Brad was seen yelling intensely, but there was no physical contact. However, the psychological impact was immediate and devastating. After that moment, Maddox began to quickly distance himself. Reports suggest he rejected his father, telling friends he no longer considered himself Brad's son. Someone close to Angelina revealed Maddox is very close to his mother. He no longer sees himself as Brad's son. He doesn't want anything to do with him. Despite everything, Angelina tried to mend the relationship in 2019. She reportedly encouraged father and son to talk, but Maddox refused. From Brad's side, the response was pure heartbreak. It was a huge loss, a source close to the actor said. Maddox wouldn't accept it, and for Brad, that was truly cruel. Things hit rock bottom in 2021. Amid the fierce and prolonged custody battle between Brad and Angelina Maddox, now a legal adult is reported to have testified against his father. According to sources, his testimony was far from gentle. They also note that he stopped using the last name Pitt on personal documents, preferring the name Maddox Jolie instead. Although he expressed a desire to officially change his name, sources say Angelina does not support this move despite their close relationship. By 2022, it seemed Brad had reached his breaking point. He made one final effort to reconnect. On Maddox's 21st birthday, Brad sent him a gift and a handwritten letter, his last offer of peace. But the response was silence. They used to be very close, a source shared. Not just father and son, they had a real intellectual bond. Brad thinks about Maddox every day. He still hopes, but it might be too late. It's not just Maddox slamming the door on Brad Pitt. His sisters are walking through it too. After years of tension and emotional distance, it seems each of Brad's children is choosing sides, and it's not his. First up is Zahara Marley Jolie, who made a quiet yet powerful statement in 2023 during a sorority induction ceremony, a video of which went viral online. In the footage, she confidently introduced herself with flair and without any trace of her father's last name. "My name is Zahara Marley Jolie," she proudly announced, flipping her hair and performing the signature steps of her new sisterhood. "I'm from the Golden State, the City of Angels, Los Angeles, California. I'm number 7 in this line." The message was loud and clear. Brad Pitt is no longer part of the story. No Pitt here anymore. Next is Vivienne Jolie Brad and Angelina's youngest daughter. In 2024, she made a subtle yet symbolic break. While working on The Outsiders, a Broadway musical co-produced by her mother, Vivienne appeared in the official playbill not as Vivienne Jolie Pitt, but simply as Vivienne Jolie. She was just 15 years old, but her choice echoed the moves of her older siblings. Another child, another Pitt gone. Brad once proudly fathered 6 children united under one famous last name. Now, as each child steps into adulthood, that name is being quietly dropped one by one. So what caused 4 of the 6 Jolie Pitt children to turn their backs on Brad? There are 2 theories, but one of them is truly chilling. According to a shocking revelation that rocked Hollywood, Angelina, Jolie may have orchestrated a calculated campaign to turn her children against their father. This accusation doesn't come from tabloids or anonymous sources. It comes from someone who has been inside the family for 2 decades. Tony Webb, a former elite British military officer turned private security expert, has filed a bombshell declaration. In it, he claims that Angelina instructed the children to avoid seeing Brad Pitt during scheduled custody visits. This was not a vague suggestion, but reportedly a direct order. If true, it reveals a deliberate effort to sabotage the father-child relationship in the highly publicized custody battle. Webb's allegations add an entirely new layer of mystery to an already emotionally charged case. What gives his testimony real weight isn't just what he says, but who he is. Tony Webb isn't just a hired bodyguard. He was the family's chief protector, entrusted with ensuring their safety and privacy for over 20 years. His role ranged from guarding their international travels to managing sensitive information under strict NDA agreements. He was there through their most vulnerable and turbulent moments and witnessed it all firsthand. According to Webb, Jolie's alleged behavior during custody exchanges was just part of a broader effort to isolate Brad from his children. If these claims are true, they could have a significant impact not only on custody rulings, but also on how the world views one of Hollywood's most powerful women. Webb's background is impressive. He served in the British Royal Navy and the elite Special Air Service (SAS) before moving into private security. And for 2 decades, his job was clear: to keep Angelina Jolie and her family safe, discreet, and out of the spotlight. But now he's the one bringing everything to light. Is this a mother protecting her children or manipulating them? The battle lines within the Jolie-Pitt family have just grown much darker. If you enjoyed this video, drop a 1 in the comments. If not, let me know with a 0. I truly appreciate your feedback. According to Tony Webb, after Brad and Angelina separated in 2016, his security company, SRS Global, continued to provide personal protection for Jolie and her children. It was during this post-separation period that Webb says he became aware of something concerning direct instructions from Jolie for her children to avoid spending time with their father during custody visits. In a sworn court declaration, Webb recounted a specific and troubling incident. He alleged that Michael Vieira, Angelina Jolie's assistant, approached him with a request that crossed the line, asking him to prevent 2 of his independent contractors from testifying in the family court trial. "Mr. Vieira asked me to stop these 2 individuals from testifying," Webb stated in legal documents. "It was clear to me he was making this request on behalf of Ms. Jolie." Vieira reportedly reminded Webb that the 2 contractors had signed strict non-disclosure agreements, NDAs, and warned that legal action could be taken if they chose to testify. But Webb pushed back, explaining that he had no authority to stop them because they were independent contractors, not employees of SRS Global. That's when Vieira allegedly doubled down. His message wasn't just a warning, it was a threat cloaked in legal language: testify and be sued. Webb said Vieira wanted him to make sure the contractors remembered their NDAs and understood the consequences if they spoke in court about what they had witnessed. One of the 2 contractors, Ross Foster, was undeterred. If subpoenaed, he was ready to testify, even if it meant violating the NDA. Foster reportedly told Webb that he overheard Jolie instructing her children to avoid their father during custody visits. He was prepared to go on the record. Ross Foster made it clear. Webb testified that if called upon, he would speak about what he heard. Jolie encouraged her children to avoid their father. Webb relayed the warning to both individuals, and they reportedly stood firm. Foster's willingness to break confidentiality if subpoenaed suggests that what he heard wasn't just casual talk, it was serious. If proven true, these revelations could change everything. Jolie's alleged manipulation could have serious legal consequences, especially in custody rulings. Judges tend to take a very hard line against parents who intentionally influence children negatively against the other parent. Worse still, their children were nearby, and some reportedly witnessed or overheard the argument. 2 of the children were said to be crying outside the door. One child reportedly tried to intervene, which only escalated Pitt's anger. Jolie claimed that Pitt lunged toward the child and she had to physically restrain him. The report further stated that Pitt later choked one child and struck another. The cabin turned into a chaotic scene as the children tried to protect each other. Jolie reported sustaining injuries and submitted a photo of her bruised elbow to the FBI. The turmoil continued even after the plane landed. Jolie alleged that Pitt kept drinking poured beer on her and blocked her and the children from leaving the aircraft for 20 minutes. The aftermath triggered formal investigations. Both the Los Angeles County Department of Child and Family Services and the FBI launched inquiries into the abuse allegations. Agents interviewed family members and gathered evidence to determine what happened on the flight. Despite concerning testimonies, no criminal charges were filed. After reviewing the details, federal prosecutors and the FBI closed the investigation without pursuing criminal action, citing unspecified reasons. Redefining the legacy. Hollywood's once golden couple, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, are now trapped under the media microscope with their private cracks laid bare before the public. Against this backdrop, Shiloh's decision to drop her father's last name did not come as a complete surprise to those following the family's unraveling. It wasn't just a name change. It was a statement, a break from a past marked by legal battles, emotional wounds, and public scandal. While Pitt once symbolized fame and legacy for Shiloh, it had become a painful chapter. By legally adopting her mother's last name, Jolie, she chose the parent who had been her primary caregiver throughout that storm. The timing was deeply meaningful. Shiloh made this change on her 18th birthday, a milestone marking her coming of age. Even more poignant, it happened on Memorial Day, adding a layer of closure and honoring the story that shaped who she is. For Brad Pitt, the aftermath of the 2016 incident was not just public scrutiny, but a painful process of repairing his image. He has been candid about his struggles with alcohol, admitting that despite giving up many things when he became a father, drinking remained a challenge. It was only after those events that he found sobriety. In interviews, Brad reflected on how sobriety brought raw emotions to the surface, stripping away denial and driving personal growth. He described the process as both bitter and necessary. However, even as he found peace in his personal recovery, the battle with his ex-wife continued. Though their marriage officially ended in 2019, the custody fight still goes on. Brad's time with his children was initially limited to weekly therapy sessions supervised and attended by Jolie. However, over time, things began to change. Brad pushed to take a more active role in his children's lives, and once the children reached 28, he moved past the stage of supervised visits. Eventually, he was allowed unrestricted phone calls and text messages, a notable step forward. Then, on May 20th to 21st, Judge John Outer Kirk granted Brad joint custody of the children, a hopeful moment, suggesting the tide might be turning. But the celebration was short-lived. Within 3 months, Jolie's legal team uncovered a potential conflict of interest involving Judge Outer Kirk. The ruling was overturned, and the custody saga spiraled back into legal chaos. The long battle. The fallout between Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie went far beyond their personal relationship, reaching the heart of their shared assets. At the center of it all stood Château Miraval, a stunning estate located in the Provence region of southern France. More than just a luxury property, it held deep emotional significance. It was the site of their intimate 2014 wedding, witnessed only by their 6 children. But what was once a symbol of unity quickly became the battleground of a bitter new war. In the years following their separation, Pitt filed a lawsuit against Jolie in a Luxembourg court, accusing her of intentionally trying to sell her stake in the property without his consent. According to Pitt, this action violated a formal agreement they both signed, which required either party wanting to sell to first offer their share to the other before selling to outsiders. The lawsuit painted a picture of deception. Pitt accused Jolie of deliberately delaying financial approvals and stalling management renewals to sabotage operations. However, the conflict was more complex than it appeared. Château Miraval wasn't just a home, it was also a business venture run through a holding company. Pitt originally owned 60% and Jolie 40%. Before their split, he transferred 10% of his shares to her, making them equal shareholders. Together, they built Miraval into a prestigious brand, globally known for its award-winning rosé wine. Jolie's alleged attempt to sell her stake without consent was seen by Pitt's team as a calculated move to cut him out and potentially damage the company's reputation. This wasn't just about land or money, it was about legacy control and dismantling an empire they once dreamed of building together. In 2024, the legal battle reached a turning point when a California judge ruled in Pitt's favor. The court found that Jolie had breached their agreement by trying to sell her shares without approval. For Pitt, it was a rare victory, a chance to protect what remained of their shared dream. It's hard to believe the same two people once spoke of each other with such admiration. Jolie's alleged attempt to sell her stake without consent was seen by Pitt's team as a calculated move to cut him out and potentially damage the company's reputation. This wasn't just about land or money, it was about legacy control and dismantling an empire they once dreamed of building together. In 2024, the legal battle reached a turning point when a California judge ruled in Pitt's favor. The court found that Jolie had breached their agreement by trying to sell her shares without approval. For Pitt, it was a rare victory, a chance to protect what remained of their shared dream. It's hard to believe the same two people once spoke of each other with such admiration. The private jet incident turned into a public scandal, transforming Brangelina from a fairy tale into a courtroom saga. As fans followed every twist and turn, Shiloh and her siblings continue to live with those scars. They became tabloid headlines, and for some, a burden. Whether the two youngest children will one day follow their siblings and drop the Pitt name remains uncertain. Only time will tell. The daughters follow suit. It's not just Maddox slamming the door on Brad Pitt, his sisters are walking through it too. After years of tension and emotional distance, it seems each of Brad's children is choosing sides, and it's not his. First up is Zahara Marley Jolie, who made a quiet yet powerful statement in 2023 during a sorority induction ceremony that went viral online. In the video, she confidently introduced herself with style and without any trace of her father's last name. "My name is Zahara Marley Jolie," she proudly declared, flipping her hair and performing the signature steps of her new sisterhood. "I'm from the Golden State, the city of Angels, Los Angeles, California. I'm number 7 in this line." The message was loud and clear. Brad Pitt was no longer part of the story. No more Pitt. Next came Vivian Jolie Brad, and Angelina's youngest daughter. In 2024, she made a subtle yet meaningful move. While working on the Broadway musical The Outsiders, co-produced by her mother Vivian, appeared in the official playbill not as Vivian Jolie Pitt, but simply as Vivian Jolie. She was only 15, but her choice echoed the footsteps of her older siblings. Another child, another Pitt missing. Brad once proudly fathered 6 children united under one famous last name. Now, as each child steps into adulthood, that name is quietly being dropped one by one, inside the Jolie Pitt legacy. Before we dive into the recent revelations that have everyone talking and, yes, confirming long-held suspicions, it's important to look back at the journey of the Pitt family and the key milestones that shaped their story. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, the power couple who once defined Hollywood royalty, met in 2003 while filming Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Despite the personal turmoil surrounding them, Jolie, as a single mother, and Brad, still married to Jennifer Aniston, their connection was immediate and undeniable. In 2007, Jolie told Vogue that their relationship began more as a partnership than a whirlwind romance. They found joy in working together, growing from collaborators into lifelong partners. Their love story defied all Hollywood expectations, blossoming into a unique and powerful bond. Soon after, their home became a haven for a family of 6 each, with a distinct background and journey. Maddox from Cambodia, Pax Thien from Vietnam, Zahara, Marley from Ethiopia, their first biological child, Shiloh Neville, born in 2006, and the twins Knox Layan and Vivian Marceline, born in 2008. By 2005, Brad and Jennifer finalized their divorce. This was the turning point that led Brad to embrace fatherhood alongside Angelina. Their journey into parenthood officially began when Angelina adopted Maddox in 2002. In 2005, they welcomed Zahara into the family, and soon after, Brad legally adopted both children. The arrival of Shiloh brought immense joy. Pax joined the family in 2007, followed by the birth of the twins in 2008, completing their circle of love and diversity. Angelina often expressed that her multicultural family deeply enriched their lives. She frequently emphasized the warmth and strength their home embodied despite living under Hollywood's bright spotlight. Even the name Shiloh, meaning peace, symbolized the calm they longed for in their growing household. As the family expanded, so did their bond. In January 2006, a Los Angeles judge approved the name changes for Maddox and Zahara, officially recognizing them as Jolie Pitt. This was a significant moment representing the couple's unity, blending adoption and biology into one seamless family. Despite the challenges of raising 6 children under intense scrutiny, Brad and Angelina embraced their roles as parents wholeheartedly. In a candid interview with Vogue on September 20th, 2023, Angelina praised her children as her greatest source of strength and purpose in overcoming personal hardships. So what changed? What led to Shiloh being excluded from Brad's massive fortune? Why her of all the children? Let's find out, because the answers reveal more than you might expect. Meet the Jolie Pitt kids. To truly understand Shiloh's story, we need to look at the world she was born into, a world shaped by resilience, transformation, and a very public legacy. Maddox, China. Jolie Pitt, the eldest sibling, was born in 2001 in Cambodia and spent his early years in an orphanage. Those early experiences forged in him a rare blend of empathy and inner strength. From a young age, he was drawn to global issues and filmmaking. Eventually, he took on a significant role as executive producer on his mother's film about the Cambodian genocide, contributing both emotionally and artistically to a story that mirrored his roots. Zahara Marley Jolie Pitt, born in Ethiopia in 2005, joined the family after Angelina discovered she was in urgent need of care at an orphanage. Over the years, Zahara has grown into a poised young woman with a strong social conscience and a passion for philanthropy. She even launched her own jewelry line, the Zahara Collection. In November 2023, she joined the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority at Spelman College, a deliberate step reflecting her commitment to service, sisterhood, and identity. Then there's Shiloh Novel Jolie Pitt, born in 2006, the first biological child of Brad and Angelina. Born in Namibia, under the watchful eyes of the world, Shiloh has always stood out, not just because she's in the spotlight, but because of her strong sense of identity and deep emotional connection with her mother. From a young age, she accompanied Angelina on humanitarian missions, not as a photo opportunity, but as an engaged, active participant fully aware of the causes they were championing together. Pax Jolie Pitt, adopted from Vietnam in 2007, symbolizes personal transformation. From life in an orphanage to the freedom and support of the Jolie Pitt family, Pax has quietly evolved into a private individual who has found his own rhythm outside the spotlight. His growth reflects not only the opportunities he was given, but also how he chose to embrace them. The youngest members of the family, twins, Knox Layan and Vivian Marceline, born in 2008, quickly captured public attention. Vivian, in particular, made an early mark in the entertainment world by appearing alongside Angelina in Maleficent. Her natural charm and ease on screen hinted at a raw talent, one she continues to explore as she now collaborates with her mother on the Broadway musical The Outsiders. A project that feels like a generational handoff within the family's artistic legacy. Despite being one of the most famous families in the world, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt have worked hard to give their children freedom, the freedom to explore, to question, and to develop their own identities. Their parenting philosophy centers on emotional honesty and individuality. While outsiders see privilege and fame inside their home, the focus has always been on giving each child space to grow without needing to fit any mold. And this brings us to Shiloh, not just the famous daughter, but a young woman shaped by love, contrast, and responsibility. Growing up in a home full of energy and complexity, with older siblings like Maddox and Zahara paving their own unique paths, Shiloh stepped into a dynamic family structure. Next came Pax, and finally the twins, adding new voices to the Jolie Pitt symphony. Angelina, who once doubted motherhood due to her own tumultuous childhood, later shared with Time magazine that becoming a mother wasn't a difficult choice. It was the right one. The challenge, she said, wasn't loving her children, but making sure she was doing right by them. She never aimed for perfection. What she believed children needed most wasn't perfect parenting, it was truth. That meant allowing them to grow in their strengths, and especially in their vulnerabilities, to fall and get back up to become their own people even when it wasn't easy. For Angelina, parenting was always a two-way mirror. Her children shaped her just as much as she shaped them. If you enjoyed this video, drop a 1 in the comments. If not, let me know with a 0. I truly appreciate your feedback. Shiloh's spark. From the very beginning, Angelina Jolie described Shiloh as a little gem, a child with a spark that couldn't be missed. Even in her earliest years, Shiloh's personality radiated something vibrant and unmistakably unique. Angelina often saw reflections of herself in her daughter, even joking about a mischievous streak that suggested Shiloh might be a bit rebellious. Brad was also captivated by her emerging character and openly expressed hope that each of his children, including Shiloh, would one day find their own voice and carve their own path in life. Shiloh's birth in Namibia in 2006 was more than just a family moment, it became a global headline. Local officials expressed joy and pride in welcoming the Jolie Pitt baby. Under Namibian law, she was eligible for citizenship if her parents chose. Just 2 months after her birth, Shiloh's celebrity status was cemented when Madame Tussauds in New York unveiled a wax figure of her as an infant, nestled between her proud parents beside her crib. It wasn't just a tribute to fame. It was a symbol of love, pride, and a new chapter in the Jolie Pitt legacy. But even as the world rushed to label her a celebrity baby, Shiloh began quietly carving out her own identity. Her life has undoubtedly been shaped by privilege, but it has also been intertwined with more universal themes. Growing up discovering herself and finding her place within a very public family navigating the complexities of childhood in the spotlight, Shiloh continued to show signs of a future that promised to be anything but ordinary. That promise first flickered in 2008 when baby Shiloh made her unofficial Hollywood debut alongside her father in the Oscar-winning film The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. It was a fleeting moment on screen, but caught attention nonetheless. Industry insiders and audiences alike took notice, but as she grew older, it became clear that Shiloh wasn't entirely comfortable living in the cinematic spotlight her parents had long held. When Angelina's Maleficent was in production, Shiloh was initially offered the role of young Aurora. But instead of taking the dreamy fairy tale role, Shiloh laughed and declined, saying she'd rather play a creature with horns. Ultimately, that role went to her younger sister Vivian, while Shiloh later lent her voice to the character Shui in Kung Fu Panda 3 in 2016. For Brad and Angelina, that decision wasn't a disappointment, it was a success. Both parents made it clear they never wanted to confine their children to acting nor idolize the entertainment industry. Angelina, in particular, believed in letting her kids explore every path available to them, especially those unrelated to red carpets or box office hits. Shiloh's own path. In recent years, Shiloh Jolie Pitt has quietly stepped into her own spotlight not as the daughter of Hollywood royalty, but as a rising young style icon with a distinct voice and vision. Drawing clear inspiration from her mother's bold fashion sense, Shiloh made headlines in 2021 at the London premiere of Eternals, where she stunned in a striking black and white Dior dress. That style wasn't just a nod to elegance. It was a subtle echo of Angelina's signature fashion, reimagined through Shiloh's youthful lens. Angelina has been openly supportive of Shiloh's choices, often emphasizing the importance of allowing children the freedom to explore and express their identity through clothing, creativity, and confidence. It wasn't just another glamorous night in Hollywood. It was a moment of resilience, solidarity, and love. But Shiloh's story isn't confined to designer gowns and camera flashes. Beyond the glitter of premieres, she has accompanied her parents on global missions, humanitarian journeys that have shaped her far more deeply than any spotlight ever could. In 2018, Shiloh accompanied her family to the Zaatari refugee camp in Jordan, where she offered not only help, but genuine connection and compassion. These trips took her to Cambodia, Bosnia, Ethiopia, and beyond experiences Angelina described as profoundly transformative for the entire family. Even at a young age, Shiloh showed a sincere commitment to making a difference. Whether through humanitarian work, cultural exploration, or simply learning to listen and engage with communities in need, her actions reflect a growing empathy that far exceeds her years. Beneath the glamour, fashion, and legacy lies a heart driven by compassion and a future that looks increasingly purposeful. The story of Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie's divorce has kept the world watching every twist and turn and unraveling far longer than their actual marriage. Now, as their 6 children grow weary of the never-ending legal battle, they are reportedly urging both parents to end the chaos and finally move on. It all began in 2016. Just 2 years after their glamorous wedding, when Angelina shocked the public by filing for divorce. Citing irreconcilable differences, her move sparked a legal storm centered around custody of their children. Brad pushed for joint physical and legal custody, triggering a drawn-out and intense courtroom battle that lasted for years. Though Angelina initiated the divorce, she has been accused of dragging out the proceedings, with some insiders suggesting she was driven by resentment and a desire for revenge over the breakup. Meanwhile, Brad, now sober-focused and clear-headed, has tried to hold his ground, resisting Angelina's demands while calling for closure. The core issue from the start remained custody, but as many of the children have grown and begun making their own choices, the dynamic has shifted. Most are reportedly supporting their father and urging their mother to let go of the past and find peace. It seems Angelina is torn between the need for closure and unresolved bitterness toward Brad. While Brad has long signaled his willingness to end this battle, both sides have spent enormous amounts on legal fees. Many observers have called the entire ordeal absurd. A temporary custody agreement was reached in late September, requiring both parties to participate in family counseling. Brad agreed to drug and alcohol testing, demonstrating his cooperation and readiness to move forward. One month later, a judge approved an arrangement granting Angelina physical custody, while Brad was allowed supervised visits based on a family therapist's discretion. However, even this didn't resolve the conflict. Brad continued pushing for more time with the children while the legal battle grew increasingly complex. Beyond the emotional toll, the prolonged litigation shattered the family's peace. The children made one thing clear: they want an end to the chaos. They want their parents to find common ground, close this painful chapter, and give them the stability they deserve. But just as the public thought the storm might settle, a new wave hit. In a shocking legal revelation, Angelina made explosive allegations amid the ongoing court proceedings. The accusations stunned even the most jaded observers. At the center of it all was Brad Pitt's estimated $300 million fortune, which only deepened the rift between the former spouses. In newly filed court documents, Angelina described a disturbing incident aboard the 2016 private flight. She accused Brad of grabbing her by the head, shaking her violently, and even choking one of their children. The details didn't stop there. According to Jolie, Brad also poured beer on her and, more alarmingly, spilled both beer and red wine on their children during the same flight. The shocking nature of these allegations sent waves through the media, peeling back the carefully constructed image of their glamorous past relationship to reveal something much darker. Brad Pitt responded not with public anger but with introspection. He acknowledged that he is still on a personal journey of growth and facing ongoing inner conflicts. Now the world is left grappling with two conflicting images of the same man, the admired actor known for his talent, and the complex figure entangled in one of the most brutal celebrity divorces in recent memory. We truly appreciate you sticking with us and watching this video. Leave a 2 in the comments to let me know you're still here with us. You are Shiloh's strength. Amid the chaos of courtrooms and headlines, one figure has quietly emerged as a symbol of resilience and hope: Shiloh Jolie Pitt. Despite the storms surrounding her family, she has maintained a strong bond with her father since childhood. But recently, in a quiet yet meaningful move, Shiloh removed her father's last name from her social media profiles. That subtle act speaks volumes. It not only reflects the emotional burden of her parents' legal battle, but also the uncertainty hanging over the future of their fractured family. Shiloh's journey of self-discovery has been anything but ordinary. As the daughter of two iconic Hollywood stars, she grew up in a world with almost no room for privacy. Yet she has always carved out space to be herself. By the age of 14, she had quietly become an inspiration to the LGBTQ+ community, challenging stereotypes and embracing her authentic self. In a 2008 interview with Oprah Winfrey, Brad Pitt revealed that young Shiloh liked to be called John or Peter in honor of the character Peter Pan. It wasn't just a passing phase, it was an early and clear sign of self-awareness, a child asking the world to see them as they felt inside. By age 20, Angelina opened up to Vanity Fair, sharing that since the age of 3, Shiloh had expressed a strong desire to be a boy. She preferred boyish clothes, short haircuts, and felt more aligned with her brothers than her sisters. Angelina, always fiercely protective of her children's individuality, has wholeheartedly supported Shiloh's journey. She has spoken openly about the importance of nurturing identity, rather than imposing labels, turning Shiloh into a quiet role model for countless young people navigating the same questions around gender and self. Her name holds more meaning than most realize. In another interview with Vanity Fair, Angelina revealed that Shiloh is a name deeply significant to both her and Brad. Originally chosen for a child they lost during pregnancy, the name is tied to memories of filming in Georgia and was even used by Angelina as an alias while staying in hotels. It's not just a name, it's a legacy. In early 2020, Shiloh faced health challenges. While the details remain private, Angelina revealed in a Time article for International Women's Day that both Shiloh and her sister Zahara underwent surgery. Without disclosing specifics, she emphasized the importance of sharing their experiences not for attention, but to remind others of the strength and care needed to raise girls facing challenges. Despite the bitter custody battle between her parents, Shiloh has grown into an emotionally strong young woman. Currently, Angelina holds full custody while Brad retains visitation rights. However, their family remains entangled not only emotionally, but financially as well. Angelina's recent sale of her shares in the Chateau Miraval winery could shift the balance of ownership, adding another layer of complexity to the tangled legacy of their marriage. Amid it all, Shiloh has maintained remarkable composure. The infamous 2016 private jet incident, where Angelina accused Brad of assault and endangering their children, left lasting trauma, especially for Shiloh. At just 16 years old, she and her siblings found themselves at the emotional epicenter of the turmoil. Witnessing their mother's distress during that harrowing flight left an indelible mark. Yet in 2024, Shiloh continues to rise. She shows a rare strength not born from privilege, but from the ability to survive and overcome it. Shiloh's rise. The story of Shiloh Jolie Pitt resonates with many. From growing up in the shadow of her parents' painful divorce to quietly becoming a confident young adult with her own identity, Shiloh's journey is one of strength, resilience, and self-discovery. In 2024, the narrative began to shift. No longer solely focused on the drama between Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, attention turned to their children, especially Shiloh, whose journey reflects what it truly means to rise above chaos. While Brad grappled with his past and fought for sobriety, and Angelina continued her work as a director and actress, Shiloh grew stronger quietly, steadily becoming a symbol of hope for a generation navigating complicated family dynamics. Her story reminds us all that young people can survive instability, grow through adversity, and shine on the other side. When Shiloh turned 17, what should have been a moment of shared celebration instead became another point of tension. Instead of a traditional birthday party, Angelina took Shiloh to Jamaica, an event reportedly leaving Brad feeling excluded. But while the adults clashed behind the scenes, Shiloh's passion took center stage. Her dance performances have captivated over 10,500 subscribers on an unofficial YouTube channel called Shiloh Jolie Pitt Dance. Filmed at the renowned Millennium Dance Complex in Los Angeles, a hotspot for industry professionals and stars like Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake, her routines showcase her growing talent and dedication. Shiloh's dance routines burst with raw talent and infectious energy. Whether it's Rihanna, Dua Lipa, Bruno Mars, or Christina Aguilera, Shiloh commands the stage with bold choreography and unwavering confidence. Now preparing to turn 18 this coming May, Shiloh remains a part of the iconic Jolie Pitt family alongside Maddox Pax Zahara and the twins Knox and Vivian. Though her parents publicly separated in 2016 and divorced in 2019, the family bond endures. Both Angelina and Brad express pride in watching their children grow, develop, and find their own passions. For Shiloh, dance has become more than a hobby. It's her way of claiming her space, her rhythm, and her voice. Though the legal battle over the Chateau Miraval estate continues between her parents, Shiloh remains focused on movement music and momentum. The Hollywood red carpet may still call her name, but her true spotlight now shines on the dance floor where every spin and step is a form of liberation. At the Bullet Train premiere in Los Angeles, Brad couldn't hide his emotions. Watching Shiloh shine brought tears to his eyes, a father's awe, a deeply human moment. It's proof that Shiloh is no longer just part of a famous family. She is becoming a force in her own right. Because for Shiloh Jolie Pitt, the stage is no longer lit just by flashbulbs. It's alive with rhythm, purpose, and the unmistakable beat of a rising star. What do you think about Shiloh's revelation? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our latest videos. Johnny Depp returns to Hollywood with a completely new look that many people barely recognize. From a charming star, he now appears with a surprising image that grabs everyone's attention. In today's video, we'll explore Johnny Depp's transformation and the story behind this dramatic comeback. If you're impressed by Johnny Depp's new look, leave a 1 in the comments. If not, comment 0. Don't forget to enjoy the video and hit subscribe to support the channel. I have plenty of exciting videos coming your way. At 63 years old, Johnny Depp finally spoke out after a long period of silence at the 2023 Cannes Film Festival. He dismissed all the negative rumors surrounding him and confirmed the doubts that the public had harbored for many years about his turbulent journey. From a Hollywood icon known for his legendary role as Jack Sparrow, to the center of a shocking scandal involving Amber Heard, Johnny Depp has endured challenges and pain that few stars have had to face. Now, Depp has chosen a new path completely different from his glamorous past. He has stepped away from the spotlight and openly started a surprising new chapter in his life. This bold decision has not only kept fans closely watching his every move, but also promises to shed light on the full story behind his sudden disappearance and dramatic comeback. Depp's departure from Hollywood is not just a simple retreat, it also speaks to his deep disappointment with an industry he once saw as the place that lifted him to the peak of fame, yet also the place where he endured constant scrutiny and criticism. After being dropped from major film projects, Depp quickly realized that America's entertainment hub was no longer a place for him. In 2023, he decided to leave Los Angeles, the heart of the global film industry, and seek peace in Somerset, a peaceful countryside area in England, where he owns a property spanning over 800,000 square meters. This is where Johnny Depp wants to put his past behind him and start a new life away from the noise of the media and the spotlight. Johnny Depp didn't announce any retirement plans, nor did he hold a grand farewell tour like many other stars. He simply disappeared from major media outlets and the red carpet events that once served as his stage. A year has passed since his move to Somerset with no public appearances or photos of Depp, leaving many fans wondering about his future. In an interview with a local newspaper, Depp shared a brief yet profound statement, "I no longer live to be noticed." "I live to be at peace." This phrase stands as a powerful declaration of the shift in mindset and lifestyle of one of Hollywood's most talented yet turbulent stars. The statement quickly spread across social media. It was the declaration of someone who had deliberately stepped away from the empire that once brought him to the peak of fame. But that peace did not mean disappearing from public life. On the contrary, Johnny Depp began to rebuild his presence through entirely different platforms. His paintings, mainly portraits and surreal works, have brought in over $5 million at auctions within just a few months. Limited edition prints priced up to $50,000 each often sell out before they even reach the public. His pieces were showcased at the 2024 exhibition A Bunch of Stuff in New York, drawing hundreds of visitors from passionate fans to seasoned collectors. At the exhibition, Depp shared, "Painting is how I express what words cannot, revealing that art has become a refuge for his suppressed emotions." Music also plays a vital role in Depp's new life. As a member of the band Hollywood Vampires alongside Alice Cooper and Joe Perry, he has performed on numerous stages across Europe, including Germany's Wacken Open Air Festival TWI and several venues in France. The performances where Depp plays guitar and provides backing vocals have received positive feedback from audiences, proving he remains a captivating stage artist. Songs like their cover of David Bowie's Heroes carry Depp's personal touch, an artist who has always seen himself as an outsider in the entertainment world. "I wish I could swim," he once said. Though no longer acting in films, Depp remains one of the most successful global brand ambassadors. Johnny Depp has become a powerful brand icon despite his absence from the screen. The Dior Sage fragrance line with Depp as its face broke global sales records in 2024. All promotional videos used archival footage. He didn't need to appear in new ads, yet his name still maintained strong appeal for the brand. Dior not only renewed their contract with him, but also expanded Depp's presence at fashion events in Paris, where he was welcomed as a cultural icon. A media executive candidly remarked Depp no longer needs Hollywood to survive, and that's exactly what scares Hollywood. Although he no longer acts in films, he remains a top, powerful brand icon. Major studios like Marvel, Warner Brothers, and Netflix are said to have been turned down when seeking to collaborate with Depp. Veteran directors, such as Tim Burton and Terry Gilliam, have eagerly invited him to participate but received no response. A close insider revealed, he doesn't want to be defined by any role anymore. He used to be an icon. Now he just wants to be himself. Depp now lives life on his own terms. Every month, Johnny Depp continues to receive numerous invitations to join major and minor film projects. However, he rarely responds or agrees to participate. Throughout 2024, he declined invitations to 3 of the world's most prestigious film festivals, Venice, Cannes, and Berlin. Nevertheless, his name still appears on Variety magazine's list of the most influential figures in the global entertainment industry, a clear testament to Depp's lasting appeal and influence, despite his near disappearance from public events. With no new films released and no appearances in public or on red carpets, Johnny Depp remains one of the most talked about names daily among media and fans. No one truly knows whether he plans to return to the film industry, but if he does, it surely won't be a quiet or silent comeback. Beneath his calm and reserved exterior lie emotional wounds that have never fully healed. The lengthy trial, which seemed to have ended in 2022, still echoes in Depp's mind, becoming a painful memory that's hard to erase. In magazine features, rather than dwelling on the painful past, he now appears to have found a greater sense of peace to move forward. In May 2016, a major turning point occurred in Depp's life when Amber Heard, his second wife, filed for divorce after just 15 months of marriage. But it didn't stop at the divorce proceedings. Heard publicly accused Depp of physical and emotional abuse, even releasing a photo showing her bruised face as concrete evidence of her claims. Immediately, the story became a global media sensation, drawing intense attention from the public and press alike. While Depp did not respond right away, public opinion quickly assumed his guilt, severely damaging the actor's image and career. With the story stirring up so much controversy, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think about the leaked recording and the allegations surrounding Johnny Depp? Leave your comments below, share your views, and join the conversation with everyone. Don't forget to hit like if you find the video helpful and subscribe to the channel for more exciting content updates. International media relentlessly labeled Depp as an abuser, severely damaging his reputation. Numerous human rights organizations also voiced criticism against him, while online communities launched boycott campaigns calling to reject all projects involving Depp. Less than 3 weeks after the scandal broke, Disney, Depp's largest and most important partner, announced the suspension of their collaboration with him. This meant that the role of Jack Sparrow, the iconic character forever linked to Depp's name in the Pirates of the Caribbean series, was removed from all future film plans. It was a huge shock for both him and his fans. It didn't stop there. Warner Brothers, another major studio, also forced Depp to give up the role of Gellert Grindelwald in the Fantastic Beasts series. Numerous advertising campaigns and endorsement deals featuring Depp as the face of products were canceled or abruptly terminated. In 2018, Depp faced another emotional blow when the British newspaper The Sun published an article calling him a wife-beater. Depp decided to sue the paper in a UK court to defend his reputation, but he lost the case in 2020. This outcome further damaged his credibility and public image significantly. Tabloid newspapers continued to publish numerous negative stories portraying Depp as a washed-up star and alcoholic or exhibiting erratic behavior, often based on unverified allegations. During this period, Depp almost completely withdrew from public life, avoiding lengthy interviews, limiting media appearances, and choosing to live more privately. A close source revealed that Depp felt deeply betrayed by the very industry he had devoted himself to and been honored by, especially as studios and partners severed ties with him swiftly without thoroughly investigating or verifying the facts. Johnny Depp's illustrious film career made him a global icon known for unforgettable roles like Captain Jack Sparrow in the Pirates of the Caribbean series and the eccentric inventor in Edward Scissorhands. However, in the late 2010s, his image began to crumble amid complex legal and personal controversies, especially the highly publicized divorce from actress Amber Heard. Major studios started turning their backs on him with big projects like Fantastic Beasts, dropping him, raising concerns that the career of one of Hollywood's most talented actors was coming to an end. However, a major turning point occurred in early 2020. A leaked recording of a private conversation between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard shocked the global public. In the recording, Heard not only admitted to hitting Depp, but also mocked his reaction with shocking words, "I slapped you. So what, you're not a child?" This statement immediately sparked a strong wave of outrage, especially among fans who had previously remained silent in the face of accusations against Depp. From there, social media exploded with the hashtag #JusticeForJohnnyDepp, spreading rapidly and attracting millions of shares. Those who once admired Depp now spoke out in his support, calling for a full review of the case and condemning the unfair, one-sided judgment of the actor by the public. This significant shift in public perception not only helped Depp regain some of his honor, but also opened a new chapter, as many began to question how the media handled the truth and reconsider the biases in cases involving domestic violence. In early 2022, Depp filed a defamation lawsuit against Amber Heard in Virginia based on an op-ed she wrote for The Washington Post, in which she described herself as a public figure representing victims of domestic violence. Although the article did not mention Depp by name, he argued that its content clearly harmed his personal image and professional career. Depp also insisted that he never abused her, and that in fact he was the one who suffered emotional harm in the relationship. The trial lasted 6 weeks and was broadcast live across the United States and internationally. Both sides presented a series of evidence, including private messages, sensitive photos, and audio recordings. Over 100 hours of testimony, 30 witnesses, and hundreds of documents were submitted to the court. Witnesses, including former employees and friends of the couple, testified that Amber Heard exhibited controlling and aggressive behavior. One shocking detail was the allegation that Heard had urinated on Depp's bed as an act of revenge, which she denied, blaming their dog instead. These moments, though dramatic, exposed the chaos within their relationship. During one hearing, Depp recounted being hit by a glass bottle that severed the tip of his finger. His personal doctor confirmed the injury was severe enough to expose the bone. A bodyguard described Depp as disoriented, his bandages soaked with blood, unable to speak due to significant blood loss. In 2022, the jury ruled in favor of Depp, ordering Amber Heard to pay significant damages, while Depp was also required to pay a smaller amount for defamatory statements made by his lawyer. The verdict not only restored Depp's reputation, but also marked an important victory in public opinion. Amber Heard later moved to Spain, distancing herself from the media spotlight. Meanwhile, Depp received widespread public support, with millions of fans expressing joy and relief across social media platforms. However, the legal victory did not erase the emotional wounds Depp had endured. According to close sources, he barely communicated with anyone for 2 months after the trial ended. In a private letter to Leond, he wrote, "I'm not doing this for revenge. I'm doing this to survive." No longer a fallen star, he has become a symbol of someone who once stumbled, but rose again, even if alone. Yet beneath that calm exterior lies something forever changed: his faith in the system. For Johnny Depp, the trial was not a liberation, but a permanent scar. A veteran French director who met Depp after the trial recalled, "He was calm, polite, but his eyes were empty, as if the rest of him had been left behind in that courtroom." Inside his Somerset home, Depp keeps all the legal documents from the trial in a separate room. Recordings, handwritten letters, messages, medical reports, all carefully stored. Not because he hasn't let go, but because he doesn't allow himself to forget. And from within those closed rooms, something else begins to take shape, a path not based on revenge, but far from easy. A new chapter in Johnny Depp's life is quietly unfolding, not to justify the past, but to be reborn in an unexpected way, a silent rebirth. Depp's comeback began at the 2023 Cannes Film Festival, where Jean du Barry, a French film featuring him as King Louis XV, was screened. This role marked his first major appearance since the Amber Heard trial and received a 7-minute standing ovation. The audience at Cannes, from critics to longtime fans, welcomed Depp as a symbol of resilience in the face of adversity. The event was not only a career milestone, but also a testament that Depp remains beloved, especially in Europe, where he found support that Hollywood had once denied him. The film later received mixed reviews from critics, but one thing was widely acknowledged: Johnny Depp's performance retained emotional depth, captivating charisma, and a compelling presence on screen. Director Maïwenn declared, "I didn't choose Johnny because of the scandal. I chose him because no one else could portray King Louis XV like he does." In 2025, Depp officially returned to Hollywood with the film Day Drinker, co-starring Penelope Cruz and directed by Mark Webb. The role is described as a deeply complex character haunted by inner demons, marking his comeback to commercial cinema after years away. Webb remarked that Depp's character is a wanderer in his own life and said, "I didn't need a movie star. I needed a wound that could act, and Johnny was the only one genuine enough." After Day Drinker, another invitation came from Terry Gilliam, one of the most eccentric directors in European cinema, for the role of Satan in Carnival at the End of Days. Gilliam explained that Depp was the only choice because he deeply understands darkness at its core, yet carries a strange calmness within. The project is currently in development, and Depp has not officially confirmed the role, but this news